Hey guys, Travis here on day 2 of IEM Cologne 2013, joined by Rekkles of Fnatic, fresh off of his angry fist straight into CLG after some trash talk yesterday. So Rekkles, I got to ask, did you obviously you seemed confident going up against these guys, but did you actually have that confidence? Were you ready? Did you think that you guys were going to pull out the win?
For me, it was like personally, I felt very nervous because it was like so long time ago I played with Fnatic and I had so much hype coming into it, and then Doublelift versus Rekkles, kind of the hype even just made it bigger. So for me, it was really hard like to play my best until the third game, where I got really like confident into my play again, and I could pretty much just do my thing with Corki, and I felt really good after that game. But before the game, we felt pretty confident as a team as well. We kind of expected to go out as winners, even though we haven't really been practicing that hard lately. Like we started 2.5 weeks ago, I think, because Peke was in USA for so long. For me, I would wish he'd come back earlier, but of course, they deserve as much vacation as they want after doing that Worlds like performance. So I just kind of accepted the fate, and it worked out so far.
So obviously you guys have to go up against Gambit now in the finals, EU versus EU finals. Gambit, you guys also kind of have that EU rivalry. What are your expectations there? Are you guys pretty confident going into that? Or Gambit, oftentimes called or thought of as these kings of IEM, for whatever reason this tournament really turns them on. So what are your thoughts going into that tournament or that match?
For me, I feel personally, and I think as a team, we also feel more confident to go against Gambit because we scrim them so much and we have been playing against each other for so long. So we have a lot of like experience, what they're playing, what their style is. Meanwhile, CLG is harder kind of to analyze. We don't really know what they do in scrims. We can just watch the rank stats and go on that. So we kind of just went like against CLG, we just went on ranked stats, banning LeBlanc and Elise, and it kind of worked out, of course. But against Gambit, we do know what they're playing since we're scrimming each other as well, and I think it will be a fight of small details, like the one that makes the first mistakes might be punished for the whole game and lose it. So I think the games will be really close, and I hope we will win with 2-1.
So I did just interview Doublelift right before talking to you. I sort of grilled him on the fact that you guys, that he said these things, and then obviously the way that they lost, etc. He did say in that interview that he felt as though while he was the best AD carry in North America, it was obvious to him that you were the best AD carry in Europe. And he said that realistically, it's hard for him to say which one of you guys is better than the other, probably go even. Do you feel the same way? Do you think that you are better than him? Where do you think you match up against him, especially after just having played 3 games with him?
For me, Doublelift is probably, like, I can't really say if he's better than me or if I'm better than him, but he was playing really good in this series. He was like 16-10, 14 or something in KDA. Meanwhile, I was like 16-1. I only had 1 death actually throughout the series. But it's also hard to say because those deaths might come from team play, or my deaths might be stopped from us being a really good team. So it's hard to judge like who is better if you don't really play a 1 versus 1 like over and over and over. Like the one that wins constantly is the best, of course. But for me, I really respect that guy. I just take everything he says with a bit of salt, and it's so funny. Like I just find it so funny. And for me, he's the best AD carry in North America. I really respect that he's saying that I'm the best AD carry in Europe. It makes me really proud of myself, actually.
That's cool. Did you pick anything up from playing against him or anything like that? I mean, he said that he felt as though the team had learned a lot from playing against you guys. Did you see anything? And obviously, we see some newer champions played. He played Lucian, for example. Anything there that surprised you or anything that you sort of took away?
Doublelift, kinda. I think Doublelift like adapted to the current metagame because the games I was watching before, he didn't really abuse. Like bot lane is right now kind of on level 2. The one that wins level 2 wins the lane. And the games I was watching before with him was like he didn't really take advantage of, like if he pushed the lane and then when he got level 2 before the others, he didn't really go all in, which you should do. I think that's kind of the meta in the bot lane right now. Either you go all in or you go really defensive and lose some creeps for it. But I think today he played really well. Like he adapted to the champions that is now like flavor of the month, like Lucian and Jinx. I play both as well, but for the team, I said it in an interview with Chooks as well. For the team, they are probably not the best because I really want to win and we want to win as a team. So playing a champion that's good for you might not be the best for the team. So for the team, we need either really, really high damage if we have high CC on other lanes, or CC on me, because Peke and Soaz is so good at what they're doing and have really high damage. So I think Corki maybe for high damage and like Ash for CC is probably the best choices I have. Because Lucian and Jinx is more like lane bullies. So if you want to do that level 2 thing, you can do it with them. But he played them really well, and I will probably put them into consideration to join, play them as well.
The only other really big detail he gave me was that he felt as though you play sort of similar to the way he played 6 months ago, where it's very farm style, and doing like double golems and that kind of thing. It's just a little bit safer than he does. Do you agree with that assessment, that you play a little bit safer, and do you think that maybe that's even like the better style of play, if maybe even only just for your team?
I think it's also with the nervousness. I was really nervous to maybe do the plays before I felt confident. Like the plays didn't really come in until the third game, where I did some plays with Corki, because then I really felt confident to take a bit more risks, which, like, if you do something unexpected, it will most likely turn out really good for you, because the other team doesn't expect it and don't know what to do against it. But of course, I'm an AD carry that's like hyper. You can call it hyper carry, or you can call it like supporting the team. Like Pushu was more supporting the team with Ashe and Varus. He wasn't really the AD carry that goes bot lane if there's like a bit of farm, like me and Doublelift. Both me and Doublelift always went bot lane these games just to take the farm, because that's how we play. We're both those styles of AD carries that want to be really fed before we go into team fight to feel confident about your own performance.
So, sorry, just a little distracted. Obviously, there's a bunch of people running around here and that kind of thing. It's really cool to be at the studios. But along those lines, we're running around at this tournament. It's been really cool. But I'm actually going to be at DreamHack next week, and you will be too, from what I understand, not playing, but actually sort of being part of the production. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
I actually got sort of invited to cast the tournament, because I really want to go to DreamHack since I'm Swedish, and interacting with the Swedes is probably the best thing I could do right now, because we don't really have any sort of like super professional player from Sweden, which other countries do have. So going to Sweden, and I will have a fan meeting for Steel Series, I think. Just to talk to Swedes and talk Swedish is not something that happens usually, so it's going to be cool. And then casting the tournament will be a bit more like public, and it will be a good experience as well, because I've never really casted before. I think I have good enough English. I might have some problems, but that's just for doing as something new. It will be good for me anyways.
Very cool. Do you have any advice or anything that I should look out for before I go to Sweden for the first time?
You could look out for girls. Everyone is blonde, so it's not hard to miss them. Yeah.
Look for blonde girls is your advice. I appreciate that. Anything else?
I would like to say thanks to everyone for following us, of course, and for today's match, and also to Doublelift, that I really respect him as a player. I would have liked to say this in the Shooks interview, but I didn't have time for it, I think. But I wanted to say that aside of the trash talk and all that negative, just fun stuff, I would like to say that I really respect him as a person and player. I think he is a great spirit for young players that want to become something. Maybe not be the trash talking, because that's like one of a kind. He's unique. Yeah. But as a player in person, he's really nice, and I really respect him for that.
Very cool. Hey, thank you so much for the interview. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you at DreamHack, and best of luck against Gambit soon. For everyone, this is Travis on day 2 of IEM Cologne 2013. You can check out the rest of our coverage at ongamers.com.